water companies back in the news because they're so useless, they're so bad. Pollution in the waterways of our country, in the rivers, in the seas, in the lakes, in the waterways around the country. It's all terrible. Thames Water Chief Executive Chris Weston has been quizzed on his bonus. We'll have a look at that first, shall we?
Please, I have said everything to the committee for the last 2 hours.
You're in a public-facing role, and customers deserve an explanation because they've been treated very badly. They're facing huge bills. You've got plenty of money. Give them an explanation.
What do you want an explanation of?
How the company got to this point, how you're going to save it, how can you change culture when you're still taking big bonuses?
There are a lot of questions in there. I have answered all of those questions for the committee. I am absolutely sure that we will save the company and we will sort it out and we'll improve its operations and we will restructure its balance sheet so there is less debt and performance will improve over time. But this is going to take 5 to 10 years. And I'm sorry it's taking so long, but that is the reality of the situation.
Do you want to say sorry?
I said I'm sorry that the service that the customers receive, it's not where we would like it to be. Everyone is very committed in Thames to trying and sort it out. So absolutely, I'm sorry of the service some people receive, but it will absolutely get fixed.
Yeah, Chris Weston, the Chief Executive of Thames Water, also had to apologise later because it turned out that he misled the Select Committee when he talks about how the bonuses were arrived at. So I wouldn't trust a word that man said, to be honest. Kat Hobbs is here, founder of We Own It. Kat, very good morning to you.
Good morning.
I don't know how you get a job running a water company, but it seems to me that it's a pretty cushy number if you can get in there. You don't have to bother about doing your job. You don't have to worry about actually delivering what you promised to deliver. You just take a massive, great big bonus and screw everything up.
That's right. It's an incredibly cushy number. They're getting these bonuses on top of salaries that are around 2 to 3 million a year. The thing is, though, we're looking at the wrong man there. That is not the man who can save Thames Water. Right. The man who can save Thames Water is Steve Reed, the Environment Secretary, because he is the one who can take Thames Water into public ownership. And right now, you might have seen that KKR has withdrawn its bid.
Yes.
So Thames Water is in a complete state right now. There's a complete vacuum. And what we're saying to government is, now is your moment to take Thames Water into public ownership, bring it in line with the rest of the world. 9 out of 10 countries run water in public ownership. 4 out of 5 people in the country want us to run water in public ownership. And no wonder when you look at the mess that we're in, because we've tried to pretend that water is something that you can have a market in. Everybody knows that's not true. And the government's only excuse for not doing this is the cost. Well, it actually, in the case of Thames Water, if Steve Reed used his powers, he could cut Thames Water's debt by around half. That's according to the Treasury and JP Morgan. Shareholders are already saying they don't want to be part of it. What is it going to take for the Environment Secretary to bring this company into public ownership? And when we're looking at the rest of the water companies, you know, this story today, frankly, it's just tinkering around the edges. It's really quite farcical because we're talking about banning bonuses. Well, the water bosses have already said they are just going to increase salaries.
Yeah.
These salaries that are already incredibly high. If you don't think that water bosses should be getting bonuses when the water companies fail to perform, then you probably shouldn't also think that the shareholders around the world are going to be getting their dividends when the companies fail to perform.
Yeah.
Well, the companies are failing to perform, so why are the shareholders getting dividends? And if you follow that through to its logical conclusion, which 82% of us have, you say, well, we shouldn't have privatisation at all. And this experiment that we've had since 1989 has been a complete failure.
Yeah. But I guess the argument against taking it into public ownership, and I'm not against taking it into public ownership, but one of the arguments against it might be, can we afford to do that? You know, because presumably it must be quite an expensive thing to run a water company. It must need quite a lot of investment. And if you haven't got investment from the private sector, i.e. shareholders and, you know, possibly other investors who are, you know, corporate investors and pension funds even as well, you know, where do you get the money from?
Well, they're not investing. So every penny of investment that we've had since privatisation started has come from your bills, my bills, everyone's bills. So we're the ones paying for every penny of investment. These shareholders wouldn't be in this game if they didn't think they could make more money than they put in. And that's exactly what they've done. They've extracted money, £76 billion in dividends since privatisation started. They've built up a debt mountain in order to fund those dividends, essentially a Ponzi scheme. They've extracted that money at our expense with us paying. And so the way that you do this is you say, okay, the government's saying that it's expensive. The only reason it would be expensive is because the market value of these companies is higher than it should be. Why is it higher than it should be? Because it's based on this huge rip-off that's going on. It's based on the continuation of us being ripped off. And they've had to fund that rip-off by increasing our bills just recently by 35%.
Oh, I know. It's insane.
In a year when it's a 10-year high for sewage in England.
Yeah, it's absolutely unbelievable. Kat, listen, great to talk to you. We'll have to do this again. Founder of We Own It, saying that ludicrous, isn't it? That the big thing today, the big news on the water company front, is that water companies have been banned from paying unfair bonuses to senior executives, because the government have said it's not acceptable. But of course, as usual, the government have left a massive, gaping, great hole through which a coach and horses can be driven, because they're all just going to give each other bigger salaries. That's the problem.